I may tell you a joke, but I ain't gonna tell you a lie. Boy, this Mervie situation got everybody talking, singing, dancing. I mean, all the actors, the singers, the writers, the poets, the comedians, everybody out. The Bahamas got talent, eh? Ooh, and everybody's so creative. Oh, and I love that for us. And boy, we are and oh yeah, we doing the thing. And I love that for us too. But y'all, as we get deeper into this movie situation, a lot of people dropping their thoughts and how they feel and everything, and everybody got their persuasion, their perspective, and their opinion, which we are all entitled to. But the truth of the matter is, boy, everybody got the same story. Mervie ain't right. It ain't right, Mervie. It ain't right. You can't take the people things just like that. But y'all who out here talking about the family, let me tell you something. And I understand you and I feel you, but listen, being a caretaker is not for the weak. It's not for those who are not been called and gifted. I truly believe being a caretaker is one of those professions that require that to be a gifting and a calling on your life. Being a caretaker, whether it's of someone who is sick, someone who is incapacitated, or someone who is aged, is not easy. That is a very, very difficult road, and it puts family in places where they have to make difficult decisions because two fundamental things that a caretaker must have or a family must have is time and money. And money is time and time is money. And so if you have the time, then you must have the money to be able to take care of you and the person you are taking care of. And if you don't have the time, then you ought to have the money to get the help that you need. And in many, many cases, a lot of families don't have either. They don't have the time, they don't have the money. Whether the person had 12 children, 13 children, 20 children, there's still always the one. The burden for some reason still always fall on the one family member, be it the daughter, the grandchild, the father, the mother. It still always falls on the one person. And this person is left to make the hard decision. And they're often criticized and ridiculed for it. But it's a difficult thing, especially with a family member who's dealing with things like dementia. You see, dementia is tricky because even the most saved, sanctified, and full of the Holy Ghost person, if that thing hits them, oh, they will curse you and tell you about your underneath and then smile with you 2 minutes later and say they never said it. If you've never walked that road, I suggest that you, oh yeah, it's not easy. Those persons, they become very aggressive in their behavior, in their speech. They become very defensive. I mean, sometimes a person could be just trying to give them their medication or telling them you can't have the ice cream because you know that can cause your sugar to go up, or you can't do this, and oh, you need to sit down, or oh, you need to use a cane. And now all of a sudden that person becomes the person's most hated. Yes. They hate, listen, until you've walked that road, we have to be very careful of how we criticize from the outside. And then I want to just leave this last little thing. As a society, we probably need to look at how we're caring for the elderly. And so in other countries like Turks and Caicos, for example, funding is provided for at-home assistance. And so if a person needs assistance at home and the family doesn't have the funding to support it, the government has a program in place where the family receives a certain amount of money every month that is to go towards paying the hired help. You see, right now, funding, as far as I know, and I stand to be corrected, from social services mostly only goes towards assisted homes. And so old age facilities receive this funding. And so maybe now, you know, that this is now a public discourse and we're all engaged and all involved. Maybe we need to use it as an opportunity to further our assistance, try to get some new ideas, some fresh ideas, get some attention on the elderly population. So while we are key, let's also use it as an opportunity to advance and develop and really, really look at what's happening in our elderly community. And then also, it's also a reminder for us, while we're still young and while it's still day for many of us, to make sure that our houses are in order, because once a man, twice a child, appointed to everyone is a time to die. Nobody wants to die, but everybody wants to go to heaven. We hear it all the time. And so this goes back to planning and preparation. And so it will be lovely to see more legal clinics and more caretaker courses and things of that nature in the communities. And so the MPs should really start running and having the Mervie things in the community. Yeah, this is a great opportunity for some politicians to get some little brownie points. I just gave you a nice little idea. But in all seriousness, all fun and jokes aside, let's make sure that we're having these conversations. Let's make sure that we're doing all of the things, because this situation is in no way, shape, or form an isolated one. We see cases like this all the time. It's just that Mervie seems to have struck a nerve with the public, right? But there are so many Mervies out there. And so we really have to make sure that we're doing all that we can to prevent these types of things from happening. And as I've said and continue to say, in all cases, whether it be Mervie or another, may justice prevail.